This man, Josh Giddey, is currently being investigated by the National Basketball Association, the NBA, over allegations that he was having a relationship with a minor.
23-year-old Memphis Grizzlies point guard Ja Morant has been benched by the team after video surfaced on Instagram of him appearing to be holding a gun in a nightclub.
Houston Rockets guard Kevin Porter Jr. walked out of the 17th precinct to an awaiting police cruiser. Porter Jr. is facing assault and strangulation charges for an alleged attack inside the Millennium Hotel.
Bridges pleaded no contest to a domestic violence charge in Los Angeles in connection to an incident involving the mother of his children.
Controversy often comes with the spotlight as a professional athlete, especially when you're in the premier basketball league in the world. But in the past couple years, this has been taken to the next level. And as you probably know, Josh Giddey has recently added himself to a list of players with quite some disturbing stuff happening off the court. So let's take a look at the Josh Giddey situation, as well as detail some other recent off-court player controversies, and analyze potentially one of the most scandalous eras of young NBA players in NBA history. Welcome to Sports Sphere. Let's get into it.
This video is brought to you by Manscaped.com, the global men's lifestyle brand that is revolutionizing the landscape of men's grooming. So let's step away from basketball for a moment and tackle a different kind of balls, a much more sensitive kind. Today, let's celebrate innovation, precision, and elevating your grooming game to the next level. I'm super excited to introduce you to the latest cutting-edge breakthrough from the Trailblazers who brought you precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra from Manscaped. Building on the excellence from the Lawnmower 4.0, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra has taken grooming precision to a whole new level with their next-gen dual skin-safe blade heads, now accompanied by an upgraded trimmer blade and interchangeable foil blade. The upgraded trimmer blade features longer, wider, and rounded teeth that cut through hair like butter. Tough on hair, but gentle on skin. But that's not it. The foil blade is upgraded and crafted to transcend boundaries of regular trimming blades, leaving you with a finish that's irresistibly sleek and utterly bare. Now, I know what you're thinking. How does the innovative dual blade system actually work? Well, let's take a closer look at a side-by-side comparison. Start your trimming session using the trimmer blade, then easily pop it off and attach the foil blade to get down to the skin level. A 2-in-1 of dreams. And now let's talk lighting. We've all been there, navigating those tricky spots with nothing but hope and a prayer. But fear no more, because Manscaped has answered our cries and with a huge LED light. If you're a part of the OG Manscaped fam, this trimmer is a tribute to the classics, retaining all previous features you've grown to love. And let's not forget that it's still waterproof. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra from Manscaped is not just an advancement, it's a revolution. Join the 9 million men worldwide who have put their confidence in Manscaped for all things grooming and hygiene. If my math adds up, we're looking at around 18 million balls here. Head over to Manscaped.com and get your hands on the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra today. When you use my promo code SPORTSPHERE, you'll get 20% off plus free international shipping at checkout. That's 20% off plus free shipping with promo code SPORTSPHERE at Manscaped.com. Trust me when I say this, fellows, your balls will thank you.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Let's start with the story that has taken the internet by storm, and it's all the NBA Twitter can talk about at the moment. It's Josh Giddey. The Oklahoma City Thunder guard has hit the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Giddey went viral a few days ago when an underage girl uploaded photos and videos of the Australian guard, claiming she had sexual relations with the Thunder player.
Hey guys! I dated Josh! We don't have to talk about it!
The photos included multiple with Giddey, as well as a couple of videos of the Thunder star. The details that of course make this a notable story is the age of both of those involved. Giddey is 21, but the girl who uploaded the pictures is believed to be between 15 to 17 years old. While the age and exact details have not been confirmed, if true, I don't think I even have to explain to you how potentially illegal that is. In Oklahoma, the age of consent is 16, so Giddey may not have just done something pretty stupid, but also very illegal. Things began looking even worse for Giddey when that same girl uploaded another video saying she and Giddey had a romantic relationship. In Giddey's defense, however, considering the two apparently met at a nightclub, there's also the potential that the girl may have lied about her age. But this would not take away the irresponsible act on Giddey's end.
What's up, my man? We're at the front of the club. Me and my girl, about to head back to mine.
As you might expect, this news along with many video clips spread like a wildfire. Other than an NBA investigation into the incident, it doesn't seem like any public statements revealing any new details have been made by anyone. Giddey played for the Thunder against the Chicago Bulls just one day after the videos were released, and the team acted like nothing had happened. So with the storm that was happening on social media, someone was eventually going to ask Giddey about the allegations, and the media was the first to it.
Some pretty serious allegations. I know nothing is concrete there, but is there anything you can say in this situation? Yeah, I mean, I understand the question, obviously, but there's no further comment right now.
Not exactly the most confident answer, and you can see why Giddey might be a bit worried, with the evidence being pretty concrete by the looks of it. Yet, he's still at practice and still involved with the team on game day. His head coach had pretty much the same response, simply saying that he could not comment on the story.
Personal matter, and I have no comment on it, and that'll be my answer on anything related.
There's no doubt that lawyers are currently involved in the background because that certainly sounded like a scripted response. We're yet to really see what's going to happen here, but he may just be facing a hefty suspension from the NBA, if not some sort of probation by the law, but then again, who knows what's really going to happen. While we don't know what will happen next to Josh Giddey, the allegations are quite interesting because there's a worrying trend starting to show. Giddey is certainly not the first NBA youngster who has had some pretty troubling issues off the court. In fact, with the number of guys who have been in the headlines for the wrong reasons, this is potentially the most scandalous era of young players in NBA history. Let's continue with one of the most hyped prospects in the NBA over recent years, Zion Williamson. Coming into the league, the Duke forward was seen as the next LeBron James. But in his time in the league, Zion has had some brilliant performances, but he's also been injured and out of shape as well. It was in the 2023 offseason where Zion hit the headlines for the wrong reasons. Williamson and his girlfriend announced that they were having a baby in a baby shower video on YouTube. Seems pretty wholesome, right? Well, it turned out to not be quite as wholesome a story as you might think. That's because not long after the video was released, adult film star Mariah Mills released a video on Twitter claiming she had a recent affair with Zion. Not exactly the way you want your pregnancy announcement to go. What makes this story even more crazy is that Mills got Zion's name tattooed on her face, just to make sure everybody knew she was crazy. Certainly a strange way to publicize the story. Zion and Giddey are not alone in this either. You might have noticed recently that Miles Bridges is back in the NBA after a year away. Seems pretty strange for a 24-year-old to miss an entire season of NBA basketball for no reason, right? Well, as you may know, the reason for Bridges' absence is a dark one. He was not only charged with felony domestic violence, but actually he pled no contest to the charge and so was charged as guilty. His punishment for those crimes may as well have been a slap on the wrist. He was sentenced to 3 years of probation as well as being suspended 30 games by the league. Sounds like a tough punishment, but Bridges is already back in the league. So despite some pretty horrifying details coming out about the case, the NBA is still pretty happy for Bridges to be in the league, making plays for the Charlotte Hornets once again. The list of scandalous young players continues with Kevin Porter Jr. Having been taken 30th overall by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 2019 NBA draft, Porter had a promising start to his career, averaging 19.2 points per game with the Houston Rockets in the 2022-23 season. But just before the start of this season, he was charged with domestic violence for allegedly assaulting his girlfriend. The Rockets were done with Porter as this was not his first time that he had hit headlines for the wrong reason, as he was charged with improper handling of a firearm while with the Cavs. Porter was barred from the team, eventually traded, and waived while he waits for his court case. And I shouldn't even have to explain to you everything that has happened to Ja Morant over the last few years. His story has been highly documented and for good reason. It all began in September 2022 when Morant allegedly punched a 17-year-old during a pickup game of basketball, but the case was dropped due to insufficient evidence. But earlier this year, Morant could not stay out of the news if he tried. It began with an incident where Morant allegedly confronted a Pacers player after a game with a gun. A month later, Morant was seen showing off a gun in a nightclub on Instagram Live, and Morant didn't learn his lesson, later being further suspended after flashing a gun again on Instagram Live. There have been a lot of young players in NBA history who have had issues off the court. When you give that much money to a guy who is barely 21, sometimes things go wrong. But the truth is, not all 21-year-olds know what to do when millions of dollars start flooding into his bank account. There may have been some more reckless young players in the league before, but this group has one thing that exposes what they are doing off the court: social media. Without social media, we may not have known that Ja Morant likes to play gangster, or that Josh Giddey likes potentially underage girls, and that Zion has an affinity for porn stars. It's not that we should expect these guys to be on their best behavior, but it wouldn't hurt for them to take a second to think before they act. Anyways, considering the recent acts of so many young players, maybe this really is the most scandalous group of young players in NBA history.